External functions. We have previously used import statements to load variables defined in another module, but even more common is to use import statements to load functions defined in another module. In fact, Python has a large number of modules available through its built-in standard library. For instance, the random module has many useful functions for producing random numbers, such as in the code shown here. Using externally defined functions, we greatly increase the capabilities available to us. Imported functions are just like any functions built into Python or defined in your own code. Once they're imported, you can use them inside of existing functions. We can also use variables from other modules in the same way. In this example, we import a function and variable from the math module to calculate the area of a circle and floor the result. Flooring means to remove any decimals and is also known as truncation. Some modules are not built into the regular Python distribution, but are available through other services. The most popular repository of Python modules is named PyPy, which stands for the Python Package Index. Anyone is free to upload code to PyPy, which is both good and bad. As long as you can trust a package to not act maliciously, you can get access to a huge set of powerful tools for free. Unfortunately, there have been cases where people have uploaded bad packages with names similar to well-known packages. The bad actors took advantage of the fact that people are not always careful when writing out names, and sometimes make typos to have them accidentally install their evil library instead. You must be very careful when installing software from the internet, thinking critically and paying close attention to what you agree to do. BlockPy has some popular libraries already pre-installed. One library that we can use is named Designer, meant for making graphics and games. The example code here shows one of the simpler ways to use Designer. After importing the Designer module, there are a bunch of new functions available for creating shapes, images, and text. By calling those functions, we create special Designer objects that can then be passed to Designer's draw function. Designer also exposes a bunch of helper functions for rotating, moving, and scaling objects. The example code here demonstrates the turn left function that takes an object and an angle, the set xy function that takes an object and a pair of xy coordinates, and the grow function that takes an object and a new scale multiplier. By calling the right functions, you can create entire scenes and images. Just like with functions from the math module, we can use designer functions in our own functions. This example demonstrates creating a bullseye image using concentric circles. Notice how we call the designer group function at the end to flatten the circles into a single image. Afterwards, we could use the positioning, sizing, and other designer functions to manipulate the bullseye as a single object. The designer library has a ton of functions and features that you can use to make both graphics and games. We'll be revisiting the library a few more times this semester as we learn new code constructs and abilities. However, if you're excited about Designer and wish to learn more, you can visit the link shown to start reading over the Designer documentation and quick start guides.